I'm going to recomment out that one and uncomment out this example. Now, when we first started talking about functions in this video, we talked about the time function, which we used in a previous video, and that returned the number of seconds from a particular point in history. Now, that number isn't very meaningful to viewers, so when you print it to a browser screen, it's not going to make sense as a time. But you can use a function called date in order to return a formatted date that makes sense when you read it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the output of this first. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to jump back to the browser and refresh. And notice that this says March 12th, 2012. That's today, the day that we're recording this video. Let's go ahead and jump back to the editor. Now, this first parameter that we're passing to date is the structure of the date that we want to display. So if we did a search for PHP date in Google, I'm going to go ahead and do that. PHP date. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to jump to the first entry, which is PHP date. And I'm going to scroll down to the parameters section here. Under format, it tells us what characters we can use to represent a particular type of number or part of the date. So for example, if we used a capital D, it would say the first 3 letters of the day. Now we're using a capital F, which is a full textual representation of a month, such as January or March. And we could find the location of the other characters that we're using as well. So as we look at this in our editor, we're using a lowercase j and an uppercase y. Now many of these functions have optional parameters, which is a parameter that we can choose to pass or not pass. In the case of date, we can pass a second parameter, which is a timestamp. Now that's what's returned when we use the time function. So if in this code we added a comma and then used the function time, and we saved it and jumped back to the browser and refreshed it, you'd see that it shows the same date that it did before. Now let's jump back to the editor. But if we created an equation that took our current time and subtracted the number of seconds in a full day, then we'd see the date for yesterday. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and add a subtract sign. And then what we're going to do is times 24, which is the number of hours in a day, by 60, which is the number of minutes in every hour. And we're going to multiply that by 60, which is the number of seconds inside of every minute. And what this will come out to is the number of seconds inside of a full 24-hour period. So let's go ahead and save this and jump back to the browser. Notice that the date right now is March 12th, 2012, and I'm going to refresh it. And now it says March 11th, 2012. I'm going to jump back to the editor. So this is a way that we can use date in order to take the result from time and convert it into something that's meaningful to display to the end user.